Get started. All right, guys. So today it looks like we are welcoming, we have Sierra and Jacob and Joshua, and Kendall has just joined us, and hopefully Nicholas will show up. No, wrong book. Sorry. Um, Hopefully a couple more people can show up too. All right. So some of the strategies that we've been working on, we talked about last week, and one was drawing inferences. That's putting the pieces together and taking the clues that the author gives you and making your own conclusion. Another skill that we've been working on pretty much all year is predicting. And so that's thinking ahead in the story, really thinking about what might come next, what the author might, have the characters do, and that kind of thing. Can anybody else think of another reading skill that you've been working on? Don't be shy. Well, I will help you out. All of these book club jobs that you do are reading strategies. So the summarizer, that is a strategy. Making connections, so the connector job, that is a strategy. Um, Even illustrating and putting things, an important part into a picture. Whoops, there we go. So all of those are reading strategies. So whether you are really aware of it or not, you are always doing that as you're reading the books. Okay, so just a little reminder that communication is key, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. Those are the skills that we're using during our book club time. Um, this is for you to get better at reading, to learn new strategies, and then to also talk about the book with your friends. And, this is a safe place. There are no right or wrong answers. The way that Josh reads a book is different than the way I read a book, and so on. And that's okay. All right. And welcome, Autumn. Looks like Autumn has just joined us, so that's great. If you are comfortable, you can turn on your webcams and then I can see your pretty faces. And if not, then make sure that you at least have your chat up and ready to go. Okay, so let's see here. We will start by just heading over to our book club site and taking a look. Our discussion questions, I have added one discussion question to your, I don't know if you want to call it a little test, but just a little quiz that you've been taking along the way. So make sure that you spend a little bit of time and fill that out. And then we'll head over to our schedule and see what everybody is up to today. Okay, so today is February 7th. And we're going to start with the summarizers because that just kind of recaps what everybody had read last week. And it looks like somebody has sent me a summary already. So I'm going to click on this one first. Oops, that's the wrong book. Never mind. We don't want to go there. Okay, so we have Sierra and Autumn who are summarizers. Would either of you like to jump in and start? And your microphones are on, so you don't have to, worry about that. You could just speak up. Autumn or Sierra? Did either of you write a summary of the chapters that you read?
I
Hmm.
haven't because I've been so focused on getting caught up on school.
Okay, well, do you remember what you read? Can you just verbalize it? You don't have to necessarily, have everything written down, but do you just kind of remember what was going on in, what was it, chapters? Did you have 5 through 7, I think? Chapters 5 through
Yeah, I had to read 5 through 7 for me.
7? Okay. Do you kind of remember what was going on in those
A
chapters?
little bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll go for it.
Well, Janice was crying in the girls' bathroom and I just forgot her name. One of the main characters.
Leslie or the little
Yeah,
sister? Okay, Leslie.
Leslie and Leslie and um I hate
Yes,
when I
his name
forget.
is Jess.
Jess had to go talk to her, but Leslie was the one sent in because she was in the girls' bathroom, and they learned a whole bunch of stuff about her, like her dad beats on her, and everybody's joking around that she thought that a guy she really loved actually loved her too,
Right.
and now everybody's joking at her, everybody's being mean, and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And I do have I'll back up for you a little bit. Um to some of the things that happened before that bathroom scene, and they're kind of summarizing questions. So this will refresh everyone's memory. Um what did Maybell remember Janice Avery on the bus? She stole something from Maybell, which is the little sister. What did she
She
steal?
she stole her Twinkies.
Yeah, okay. So first thing, Janice is kind of mean to the little sister, but then Jess and Leslie decide to take revenge on Janice for stealing the Twinkie. So what did they do to Janice?
They wrote a note saying that a fake note that says that the guy she really loves and almost every girl in the seventh grade loves
Yeah,
um actually loves her, and to meet them behind the school because she'd walk her home, but
yeah,
really he didn't come at all.
that's right. That's right. So it kind of broke her heart in a way, but they took revenge on her for stealing the Twinkies from a younger kid. Um, Well, do you think that was right for Jess? And this is a question for all of you. Do you think that it was okay for Jess and Leslie to take revenge on Janice?
No,
Why do you think so?
because it's revenge and it's very mean, and that'll probably make you a bully too. And also, the sister really wanted revenge, but it's a bad thing to do.
Right. Do you see it as bullying? Do you think they were both kind of, being bullies? Like Janice started it, and then it looks like Jess and Les decided to be bullies as well?
Yeah,
Okay, so both sides were being bullies because when something happens, like somebody steals Twinkies or whatever the case is, um, the correct thing to do is to deal with it in a more diplomatic way, by talking it through, getting an adult to help you, that kind of thing. But instead, they took revenge, and they weren't any better than Janice once they did that. That's my opinion. I mean, this was definitely an opinion question. Who else has an opinion on that? Do you think it was bullying? Do you think they handled it right? How could they have handled it better, maybe? So Jacob said no, he doesn't think that they handled it correctly. Now I want to know, if we all at least somewhat agree with that. How could they have handled it better? Like, what could they have maybe have done instead?
they could probably have just walked up and told her that that was very mean. Could you please not do that again? And probably
Yes.
try and talk it out.
Yep, they could have confronted her and maybe asked for the Twinkies back nicely. And then I'm getting Jacob's responses, even maybe before going to a teacher, or going directly to a teacher would be fine too. Especially Maybell, since she's the younger kid. Maybell could have directly gone to a teacher. Yeah, but those are probably better ways to deal with it. All right. So those that kind of, gave us a little bit of a summary, and then that led into what Sierra was talking about. Sierra was talking about after this happened to Janice and it was fake, she got really upset about it. So, that's when they went into the bathroom and kind of got a little background history on Janice's life. And Janice actually lives a pretty tough life as well. it doesn't excuse her actions for stealing Twinkies and being mean, but she
And
doesn't have
having to
the
pay
best life.
and having to pay money in front of the girls' bathroom.
Right, exactly. Here's another little question to get you thinking about the chapters that you read. Why does Jess give Les a puppy or Leslie a puppy?
Um, Jess gives Leslie a puppy because it's Christmas and he wants to give her a present that he will be proud of instead of something that he won't be proud of.
Yeah, give her a present he can be proud of. And Jacob just added into the chat. Um, let's see, because Jess felt sorry that he had to because she did. That's not making a whole lot of sense to me, but I think we can leave it at that, and that's just kind of the same answer there. Okay. What type of a relationship does Leslie have with her father? And this question's for anybody. Does she have a good relationship with her father? Um,
Leslie has a great relationship with her father. She will hang out with him, help him build, all that stuff.
Good, yeah. With her father, she helps him build. Do they mention anything about Leslie's mom?
She writes stories
Yeah,
and
okay, good. And Leslie's mom is an author. Oh, all right. All right, guys. So that and Jacob is saying the word speck. Is that what they named the dog?
no, it's Prince something.
Okay.
That's PT.
PT, Prince PT.
Oh, Prince Terabithia.
It's
Something like
Taryn.
that.
Prince Taryn.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. Okay, so those were pretty good little questions, and you're fine, Jacob. You didn't mess up. That was fine. Um, those were good questions to kind of get us thinking about the chapters that we read and give us that summary that we were looking for. Okay, so going back to some of our jobs, we will start with the discussion director jobs, which is Kendall. So, Kendall, are you ready to jump in and give us a couple more questions to discuss?
Yes.
Okay, so let me get down here and I'm just going to add them to the bottom of the questions that we just did. And go ahead whenever you're ready.
Why did Jess get Lisa a puppy instead of something else? Leslie.
Okay, why did Jess get Leslie a puppy instead of something else, like maybe a necklace or something? So why did he choose a puppy, Autumn? What do you think?
I think this is right, but it probably is because he wanted to be something proud. Like he was like, "Wow, I should get her that," because he'd be really proud of himself for getting her that.
Okay, really proud of his gift. And yeah, I had a similar question, couple questions before. But any other thoughts of why he chose a puppy instead of, whatever, a notebook or something else? Did she ever talk about wanting a puppy? No, it was just something that he thought was really special. So that's good. Okay, Kendall, what is your next question for us?
If Jess did not write the note, what else could they have done to Janice Avery?
Okay, done to Janice Avery. Okay, so this question can go two different
This doesn't have
ways.
to be muted.
You could say that they could do more mean things to Janice Avery, like other types of revenge, or they could have dealt with it in a more positive way. So this question can be answered in a lot of different ways. So let's just get some ideas. Instead of writing a fake love note, what are some other things they could have done? And Jacob said, here's a positive idea. They could have told a teacher. So that would have probably ended it right there. They would have had the teacher come over, get the Twinkies back, and it just would have been over and done with. What else could they have done, Autumn?
They could have like asked her politely to just stop.
Yeah, they could have. And this is good. You guys are thinking of positive ideas of ways they could have dealt with it nicely to stop bullying Maybelle. Good. Any other ideas? I mean, they actually could have done something mean. Like they could have stolen something back from her of hers. Jacob said they actually could have even traded. They could have traded something. So maybe they had cupcakes or something in their lunch. They could have just traded the Twinkies for her. Although, she stole them in the first place. So, you know, probably shouldn't have anything at all. But yeah, these are really great ideas. I really like these first couple where they would be standing up for Maybelle in a nice way. They're not going to go and like scream at Janice, but they could have asked her nicely to stop. And then, of course, always telling a teacher, especially if they tried to talk to her nicely first. Okay. Next question, Kendall.
Why does Maybelle follow them to Terabithia?
Okay. Why does Maybelle, since she's the little sister, follow them to Terabithia? Well, what do you guys think? This question's for everyone. Go ahead, Sierra. I think maybe your microphone might have been off there for a second. So go ahead and try to say it again, Sierra. Huh, very strange. I'm not able to hear you, so maybe you could type it into the chat and then we'll just take somebody else's response for a second and then I'll get yours after I see it in the chat. Okay, so why do you think, or I'm sorry, why did Maybelle follow them to Terabithia? Josh, make an inference. Why do you think that she would, follow them to Terabithia?
Because she wanted to see what they were doing.
Yeah, so she was curious and wanted to, see what the older kids were doing. That's an inference that you just made, Josh. The author doesn't tell you exactly why, but you just have to kind of come up with your own idea of why she might be doing that. Go ahead, Autumn.
Also because Leslie,
Yeah?
she actually helped them by going saying free the pea, free the pea. I don't know why, but like they wanted their like to go to the bathroom without paying. So also because like she really liked Leslie for stepping up
Yeah.
and she wanted to follow Leslie around probably.
Yeah, she kind of maybe idolized the older girl a little bit. Yeah, and then I got Sierra's answer in the chat since her microphone seems to have just gone out. But she wanted to know where they went a lot because it looks like they, spent a lot of time off somewhere. And so she was really curious. So she wanted to know where they snuck off to so often. Perfect. All right, Kendall, those were really great questions. I'm really proud of you guys. So far this week has been so much better. Everybody has their work and they're prepared, and most of us are piping up um, and answering questions. This is great. Kendall, I think you only had to do 3 discussion questions. Was that it?
Yeah.
Those were great. Thank you. Okay, so we will go up to the top. We had Joshua as the quotable quoter. So Josh, I have your work right here. We're going to take us to his work. Okay, so Josh had the job of finding 2 parts in the story that he wanted to share with us. And they could be just a good part, a funny part, whatever the case is. And he's going to tell us these two different parts that he chose and why. So his first one, I'm highlighting it right now, happened on page 65. And he chose this because he thought it was funny. Well, so Josh, when I'm looking at this, I don't have a whole lot of description here, and I don't, off the top of my head, remember page 65. So can you refresh our memory a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm.
Oh, hi, puppy. So do you remember why you chose that part that you thought was funny and what was happening?
Oh, oh, that was when they were writing the note.
Oh, okay. So this is when they were writing the fake love note to Janice, that ended up, hurting her feelings. So what was funny about that, Josh?
Uh, I don't know.
Well, I mean, sometimes before you start thinking about the consequences of your actions, before you think about how it's going to make that person feel, and how that's kind of, taking revenge on somebody and also being a bully, it can be kind of funny. And they were just thinking about helping Maybelle feel a little bit better. But so I don't know. I mean, I see your point that writing that fake love note at first might have seemed kind of funny. Does anybody else have any thoughts on that? No? Do you agree that maybe before you really think it through, it seemed like a good idea and it was kind of funny?
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah, I mean, before you think about how it's going to affect the person, and I see some people in the chat are agreeing that maybe at first. And then Josh also chose page 73 because he said there was a good description on there. So hopefully, because I see that he paused his screen, hopefully Josh went to run and grab his book so he could find page 73 for us and what was being described there.
All right, page 73.
Perfect. Why don't you start reading it for us?
From the very top.
Yeah, might as well.
Well, you're right for once. Nobody with any sense would call that sick a girl. That stick a girl. Brenda pushed her face right into his and grinned the word girl through her big painted lips. Something huge and hot swelled right up inside of him, and if he hadn't jumped out of his chair and walked away, he would have had smacked her. He tried to figure out later what had what had made him so angry. Partly, of course, it made him furious that anyone as dumb as Brenda would think she could make fun of Leslie. Lord, it hurts his guts to realize that it was Brenda who i- who was his blood sister, and that really, from anyone else's point of view, he and Leslie were not related at all. Maybe he thought I was a I was a fuddling like in the stories, way back when the creek had water in it. I came floating down in the wicker basket, waterproofed with pitch. My dad found me and brought me here because he always wanted a son, and just had stupid daughters. My real parents and in and brothers and sisters lived far away,
Okay, go
farther
ahead
than
and stop
West
there for
Virginia.
just a second. That is fantastic. I'm not sure if this is the part that Josh was thinking of, and we'll get his opinion here in a second. But I heard a really good description of how he feels about Leslie. He was furious when they were making fun of her. And he used some really powerful writing there when he said it made the blood boil in him, and he got really hot inside. And he just can't imagine that this would actually be his real sister who is saying these things. So Josh, was that the description that you were talking about, or was there something else?
Mhm.
Okay, so any other thoughts on that? Anyone? Do you agree? Do you think it was a good description? Any other comments?
No.
Okay, well, hopefully we agree with that. That was a really good piece of writing, with the way that he thought about Leslie and the way that his real sister made him feel. Okay, it's powerful. All right, so let's see here. We have TJ as our word wizard, and I have his job. There it is, right here on our agenda. So we'll go to it and see what words we found for this week. Okay, so to me, it looks like our first word was a new word called Terabithia. It is in the title, and it is a place that Jesse and Leslie go to make up their imagination. He picked this word because it was new, and he would like to go probably, to a place like Terabithia. Um, was this word new to anybody else? Yeah.
Mhm.
How
I
did
have
they
the
come?
movie.
How did they come up with such a title like Terabithia or such a name? Does it say, or was it just a made up word?
I think they just made it up together.
They just made it up. Yeah, so it doesn't really have anything to do with a real place or anything else. I don't remember any connections. Like,
Could make a museum called Terabithia. That would be cool.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it definitely should have been a new word, probably to everybody then. Okay. A different type of word is bobby socks. Now, if you haven't noticed, I mean, this book obviously is written in the past, and so, things sometimes are a little different. And bobby socks, found on page 81, are socks for girls that go a little above the ankle. I picked these words because I had never heard about it before, and girls, at least in this, oops, sorry, I went too fast. Girls, at least in this time period, like to wear something called bobby socks. So I think what TJ is doing here is he's just pointing out that this is definitely not maybe a modern day type of book. Okay. And a strange word that he found is egged. On page 78, this word means to push someone to do something. So I picked this word because it has the word egg in it. So I egged my mom on to take me to get a pizza. That's a really great word, actually. Yeah, to push somebody to do something. Can you think of any other examples of a time that you've been egged on?
No.
What were they doing on page 78? Do you remember that? And who was egging who to do what? Looks like Sierra's looking it up for us. Jacob egged his mom to and dad, or sorry, egged my dad to go on the Tower of Doom with him. Okay, that's a great example. TJ, you could type into the chat. Do you remember what was going on page 78? Like who was egging who on and what were they egging them on to do?
I just found it.
Okay, go ahead, Sierra.
Leslie began to laugh and egged Jess on because Jess was going woof 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 like a dog,
Uh,
and Taryn was running around him in circles woofing too,
yeah.
and Leslie was laughing, egging him on,
Yeah, making him do
basically.
it more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Perfect. That's a great example. Okay, a funny word is called slithering. And I think we kind of know what slithering is. I mean, I think of a snake, and here's the example that TJ gave us. Kind of slithering around on the floor. Oh, this is a great word. I'm going to skip to this one called reluctant. and it's on page
That
83,
section.
83, sorry. And it means to do something not willingly. So you'll do it, but you're reluctant to do it. So I reluctantly cleaned the bathroom for my mom. You did it, but you didn't really want to do it. What was going on page 83? Who was reluctant and what were they reluctant to do? And I love, Sierra, how you've brought the book and you're able to like look it up and just turn to page 83. We could even make it a little bit of a race. All of
I
you
just
who have
found
the book.
I just found it.
Okay, go ahead.
Jess tried going to Terabithia alone, but it was no good. It needed Leslie to make the magic. He was afraid he would destroy everything by trying to force magic on his own when when it was plain the magic was reluctant to come for him.
There you go. So Magic was reluctant, or didn't really want to come for him. So he didn't really want to go to Terabithia. He was probably reluctant to go to Terabithia on his own. Good. Another important word was promptness. That means to be on time. So let's see. The example that TJ had is she did not notice the promptness of my sister. Okay, so she did not notice how her sister was on time or his sister was on time. It's always important to be prompt because people expect you to show up at the time that you say that you're supposed to show up, so that they're not waiting around for you. Yeah,
Found it.
go ahead.
Jess jumped up, pleased for an excuse to leave the track, which he would make work to his dad's satisfaction. His mother seemed not to notice the promptness of his response, but went on with his complaining voice. I don't know what I do without Ellie. She's the only one of you kids ever cares whether I live or die. Ellie smiled like a plastic angel, first at Jess and then at Miranda, who glared back.
Very nice. Okay, so promptness can also mean like a quick reply. So it seems like, he had a real quick answer. Very good. Prompt answer. Another hard word was the word consolidated. Okay, so consolidated means to join everything together. Okay, so you can hear a lot of times, like on a commercial, consolidate your debt. So that means if you have like 10 credit cards, you can consolidate your debt by putting it all onto one, just like joining all of that debt together into one big bill instead of 10 little bills that you would be getting. Um, so, yeah, and in this case, he said, consolidated my Legos into one box. So he put all of his Legos, instead of keeping them in 100 different places, he put them into one box. Very good. Did you find it, Sierra, where it was in the book?
No, it doesn't seem to be at page 72.
Oh well, that's okay. That's a pretty good word. But we'll have to move on anyway so that we can get to Jacob's job, and I'm sure it's in my email. So don't you worry, Jacob. Okay, so we have our connector and illustrator. Oh, I wonder. Okay, so Nicholas did send me something, but it didn't look like he had been making connections. Anyway, okay, so let's go to my email and pull up Jacob's job. I bet this is it. Just kidding, that's not it. Jacob, why don't you go ahead and send it to me one more time? Okay, he's gonna send it to me one more time. All right. So far, guys, we've been doing really well. I'm proud of us today. This last week, I was a little upset because I mean, why come and listen to me tell you about the book for an hour? This is about you guys collaborating with each other. And at the end of this project, we're going to do something really cool. I want us to, I'm going to teach you how, of course, how to make like a little video of the book. And I might assign, different chapters to different people. It'll be fun. Don't worry, Jacob. He's saying, oh goodness, but No, it'll be fun. And it's like 30 seconds long. It's not like 10 minutes or anything. So, okay, I wonder. Oh, hey, Jacob. And I know you're typing into your chat, so everybody thinks I'm talking to myself, but I'm really not. Can you pull it up on your own screen and I'll just make you the presenter? Okay, so Jacob, I'm going to make your screen show up for everybody else. So if you just pull up your illustration on your own screen, so you should see a button that says make me the presenter or something like that. Just click on it.
My head's big.
Whoa, all right. Wow, that's quite the bear. Okay, here's his illustration. That's perfect. Jess and Maybelle are dressing her doll like 31 different times. So, that's cool. Jacob, tell me why you didn't, or why you chose this part to illustrate.
Here.
Okay, so he's typing into the chat. So everyone open up their chat right now so that we can communicate with Jacob. So Jacob says that I remember when she said it. Okay, so Jacob, did you think this was an important part? You thought it would be pretty good.
Wow.
What do you guys think? All of you who are reading the chat right now, do you think this was an important part, or do you think it was just an interesting part, maybe a funny part?
I think it was just an interesting part.
Yeah, maybe it was just a part that was, kind of a fun part or something, and it might have been just easy for him to think of what to draw. The girl's face is weird that he made. Oh, no, it's not. It's fine, Jacob. TJ thought that that was kind of a funny and interesting part. And that's great. I love seeing what people choose to illustrate because it really shows, a lot of times it shows a really important part of the book. In this case, maybe it just shows, um, a part that everybody enjoyed reading. And that's good too. All right, guys. So we did. I'm going to change the screen and make me the presenter again. Ah, sorry. Show my screen. There we go. There it is. Okay, so we will go back to our agenda, and I need to show you what we're going to be doing for next week. Okay, so I need to scroll to the bottom. You have until Monday, so you have a little bit less time to read these chapters, but they are short chapters, so don't worry, don't freak out or anything. So for Monday, you only have 2 chapters to read. Okay, and then let's take a look at your jobs for Monday. Okay, Monday is the 11th of February. Sierra, you will be our illustrator. Kendall, you will be our word wizard. TJ, you will be our quotable quoter. Let's see here. Connector will be Josh. Summarizer, Nicholas. Illustrator, Autumn. And discussion director will be Jacob. All right. And all right. So that's it. Do you guys have any questions on what you'll be doing for Monday? Remember, it's chapters 8 through 10, and then this job. Are we good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I get to see. Oh, Jacob, you said nope. What's wrong? There you are, Jacob. He just turned on his webcam for a brief second there. All right. Well, hopefully I'll get to see some of you this afternoon at the Denver Dumb Friends League presentation. Remember, it's at the Cantrell building. They're going to bring they call it an ambassador dog. That'll be kind of cool. And we're going to learn some cool ways to help out the Denver Dumb Friends League. So anyway, it's been great, guys. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you on Monday.
Bye.
All right. Bye, guys.